There's a fly in this room. I've got a pineapple on my fucking head. I've got makeup all over my collar, but I'm here. I'm here to film my August reading wrap up. I would try and get the fly out of the room, but that would mean I'd have to try and get back up off the floor. And when you're 37 weeks pregnant, that's hard. This month has been the best reading month I have had this entire year. I need to stop swearing in my videos because for some unknown reason, YouTube has been demonetizing my older videos. So it looks like I'm gonna have to like clean up my content a little bit so I can get paid. Thank you so much, YouTube, for doing that to me. I think it's hilarious how so much shit gets posted online on YouTube and TikTok and all these apps that are so not appropriate. Yet if you swear in one of your videos, your video gets demonetized or taken down. Like, really? I'm just trying to express myself, you know? I'm just trying to explain using the language that I would typically use on a day-to-day basis, and you're censoring me? I don't like it. As I was saying, this has been the best reading month I've had this entire year, except for like January. I'm just getting my Goodreads up so I can go through like the books that I've read. You know the drill when it comes to reading wrap-ups. Some books I liked, some books I didn't like. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna sit down. I'm gonna tell you the hard truths about these books. We're just gonna have a good old time, you know? We're just gonna sit here, bond over books, get to know one another, love our lives. That's the type of vibe. I'm a little bit out of breath and I am pretty congested. Pregnant life, you know what I mean? So just bear with me. Let's do it. Okay, so the first book I want to talk about is Say Yes by Candy Steiner. Now, I saw Jess reading romance on Instagram. She's a bookstagrammer. She posted a review of this and I was like, this looks like a vibe. And I do like Candy Steiner, okay? She wrote Love Letter to Whiskey, one of my favorite books of all time. So I was like, I'm gonna give this a go. Because in Jess's review, she said that this was like set in the 90s. And I was like, oh, that's freaking funky fresh, okay? I like the sounds of that. So I picked this up and this is one of my favorite books I've read this month. Oh my God, did I chew through this, baby girl? This is such a good book. There was something just so romantic and just delicious, sexy, but also emotional about this book. Like, it gave me all the feels, all the right feels and all the wrong feels. There was lots of conflict and there was a push and pull between the characters, and I loved this book so much. I literally look like I'm about to cry because I just like coughed, gagged and almost threw up in my own mouth all at once. Pregnant things, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, this shit is never ending. As I said, this book is set in the 90s and it's about this heroine called Harley. She does a semester, I guess, at this art school in Italy. Harley actually has a disability and I really appreciated how Candy wrote this character and intertwined her struggle in this story. It just added more like emotion to it. I had never read a character that had this type of disability and I just very much enjoyed it. She meets Liam at this art school and Liam is very closed off. He's quite a strange character and there's some mystery around Liam and like why he is the way he is. Harley is a perfectionist when it comes to her art and just herself and life in general. Obviously, having a disability, living with a disability and struggling with the disability that she has, it's very much affected like how she takes on certain situations in her life. And because ultimately she doesn't believe she's perfect, she wants everything around her to be perfect. And her professor actually calls her out one day to do with her artwork, saying like she needs to loosen up a bit and needs to drop trying to be so perfect all the time because it's ruining her work and it's just not working for her. So she decides one night that she's just gonna not think about shit and she's just gonna say yes to everything. And that same night she kind of like meets up with Liam and they decide to do this like say yes type of situation together. So they spend like 24 hours pretty much together saying yes to every activity, every meal, every drink, everything. And it is such a swoon-worthy vibe. I cannot get over how much I loved this aspect of the book, like this portion of the book that night that they spent together. So obviously on this night that they say yes to everything together, feelings develop. Liam makes it quite clear to Harley that he is not open to relationships. He's not open to being in love, falling in love, all of that. But Harley knows that he has feelings for her and she has feelings for him. And she just wants to experience this time in Italy with him and just see where it goes. So they decide to do like this friends with benefits type of thing. Oh my God. Every time the friends with benefits type of trope gets used, I'm like, oh. Okay, so they're obviously gonna fall in love. It's gonna be this like whole ordeal, all this drama. One wants to commit, one doesn't want to for some stupid reason. And this book definitely went in that direction, but I loved every minute of it. Anyway, yeah, this is my favorite book of the month. The next two books I want to talk about, I actually listened to on Audible a while ago and then stopped reading them, so I DNF'd them and picked them back up this month to try and finish them and ended up DNFing them again. So I'm just going to quickly tell you what books I'm talking about. First one is Dear Aaron by Mariana Zapata. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself, and please do not get offended if you love Mariana's books because I know she's so popular. She's one of the most popular slow burn writers. I enjoy her writing. The pace of her books though, I know she's a slow burner, but so many other authors are slow burn writers too, and they never write books this fucking big. So I started listening to Dear Aaron months ago, tried to finish it this month, and I had to cut the cords, bitch. I had to like exit and just not even worry about this book anymore because it bored me to fucking death. Oh my God. So this is a military romance, right? And it's about this girl, forgot her name now. She signs up to this like pen pal website thing. She starts this pen pal situation with a soldier who's been deployed. And I haven't read a military romance as of yet. So I was hoping this one was going to be a banger. And I love pen pal romances. And I did enjoy this to a certain point until the emails between the two of them just got kind of like boring. I was like, okay, how many emails do I have to fucking read until they finally meet up and something happens? Like, it was just a drag, which I have heard. So many people have said that this, like the first half of this book, Dear Aaron, is like super boring and then it kind of picks up. But I just don't have the patience for that. Like, if you're not holding my attention, you're not giving me the goodness that I'm looking for within the first, I don't know, 50%, then I'm not continuing on with you, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I DNF this. If you do follow me on my Goodreads, I don't rate. I've chosen now not to rate the books I DNF. Okay? Because I feel like I can't give them a star rating when I haven't even finished the book. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, Dear Aaron was a flop. Absolute flop. Same goes for this book. Now, what is it called again? My Darling Arrow by Saffron Akent. Oh, girlfriend, I'm sorry. I am sorry. The Unrequited from her is one of my favorite books. But she keeps writing these fat, massive books and the page count is just not needed. The problem I had with My Darling Arrow was just the speed of the book, I guess, and I just couldn't connect with the writing style, nor could I connect to the characters. And even though I was listening to it via like audiobook, I just wasn't engaging with the story, zoning out while I was trying to listen, and then I'd be like, hang on, what's going on? Who's this? That type of vibe. But briefly, it's just about this girl who is quite rebellious and she's at like this, is it a boarding school? I feel like troubled kids. And she's crushing on the principal's son, like big time. And if you have read quite a few books of Saffron's, you know the type of heroines she writes. A lot of the time they're like these obsessive little heroines that are like, I don't know, they kind of creep me out a little bit. Yeah, so she's like obsessed with this man who is the principal's son, but not only that, he is the love of her sister's life. Usually, like, I would love like that type of taboo aspect to a book, like using that trope, I guess. But with this story, I just couldn't connect to the characters, couldn't connect to the book. It was a total snooze fest for me, and I had to DNF it. Okay, oh my god. This book, I was not prepared for this. I knew it was going to be emotional, but I didn't realize how heavy this book actually was going to be. And again, this is another recommendation from Jess on Instagram, but this is called The Truth About Love. Before I even talk about my opinions about this book, just heavy on the trigger warnings, which I don't usually do. I don't usually like say, hey, this book has a trigger warning, but I think with this one, it needs one. heavy on the mental health, babes. Heavy on suicide, self-harm, mental illness, like very much so. And there was certain parts of this book that I struggled to read because I related to them too much, but we'll get to that. So The Truth About Love is about this girl who moves to this new town, I believe, and her parents kind of aren't around. They're really shit. And she struggles heavily with depression, like serious, like chronic depression. And she doesn't believe in love. I guess because she does struggle with depression so bad that she just has come to this conclusion that love doesn't exist. So she doesn't believe in love. She catches the attention of the popular guy. And then the popular guy goes out of his way to like talk to her, pursue her, try and date her, and convinces her to let him show her that love does exist. Now, their love is so intense and it's so beautiful, but it's also very dark. As I said, this heroine definitely struggles with chronic depression. So like there's a lot of suicidal thoughts, self-harming and stuff like that. And also the hero, his mother actually suffers from a really severe mental illness, schizophrenia. Now, I'm just gonna say something really briefly, and I don't want to like get into too much detail about it, but I personally struggle reading about schizophrenia in books because I have a lot of experience with it. A lot of the time when authors use schizophrenia as like a subplot, I guess, or like conflict with a character or whatnot, they misrepresent it all the time. Like all the time, and I get so frustrated because I'm like, that is not what it is, or like it's so much more complex than that, and they tend to just like throw it in there. This one was written well, and I don't believe that it was misrepresented. I believe a lot of people could have had this type of experience, or could have dealt with people that experience schizophrenia this way, but I just found it hard to read because it was so relatable. Like, I get it, and yeah, it was just, you know, there were some parts that I was just like, oh, I don't want to read this right now because it's going to stir up emotions for me. So just keep in mind, if you're going to read this, trigger warnings with mental illness and stuff like that. It's very heavy. I haven't read a book this emotional in such a long time, and it gave me all the feels. I didn't cry. I really wish I did cry, but it's just one of those books where you read it, at the end of it, you're sitting there and you're just like, what the fuck did I just read? And you just have to kind of ponder on the story that you've just devoured in the last, you know, 2 days or whatnot. Very intense. I did rate it 4 stars. Is it my favorite book of all time? Absolutely not. It was a beautiful story, heartbreaking story, super sad. So if you want to get your feels, this is where you want to go. Next up, I read Ignite by Melanie Harlow. Oh my god, I loved this so much. This was such a fun read because after I'd read The Truth About Love, I posted on Instagram and I was like, I need something fun. And so many of you suggested this book. So this is a single parent age gap romance, and it was just a fucking fun time. Like swoony, sexy, smutty, funny. Like I laughed so much reading this. So this guy who is a single dad with 2 girls. I think his daughters are like 5 and 8 maybe. He moves next door to this young 22-year-old. His girls, like his daughters, are very like boisterous and just like outgoing, and they end up like building a friendship, I guess, with this neighbor, this young girl. And they end up like kind of crossing paths quite often, and then yeah, attraction is there, feelings develop, we go from there. I just loved this so much. Like if you want like a quick, good, fast-paced book that's got everything that you're looking for, age gap, single dad, funny, cute children, yes, my ovaries cannot take it, really good, sexy, smutty scenes, this is where you want to go. I did listen to this on Audible as well, and I really enjoyed the experience, though I did go between Audible and the ebook at the same time. Blame it on the vodka, bitch. Okay, so this is the next one. Oh my god, did I love this book. I actually started this 4 months ago when it was released, and I got 15% in and had to stop because this was back when I had like morning sickness. Well, it was all day sickness and I was very ill. So I picked it up yesterday actually, because I'm trying to read Magnolia Parks. If you follow me on Instagram right now, you know the whole ordeal that I've DNF'd Magnolia Parks, even though it's so popular and everyone's talking about it. I don't find it to be such a vibe right now. So I ended up DNFing that and then picking this up, and I was like, let's just see if I can finish this. I read it all last night, like yesterday, like a one sitting read. And as I was reading it, I was like, yes, Fiona, like your writing is just so easy and it's so interesting because back when I first started filming book recommendation videos, I used to say this all the time, like, I'm not a reader that wants like really intellectual like literature, you know what I mean? Like, I want like easy shit that's gonna play in my head like a movie, that's like full of conflict, drama, give me the feels, give me the smart, give me the love, like, I just want a easy, nice read that just flows. Fiona's writing does that. Like, you can read her books so quickly and they're always like such a good time. And they also, a lot of the time, have very serious topics in them, and she does it so well. Like, she knows how to incorporate serious topics, serious conflict, serious issues, without making the whole experience of reading that book a downer. Do you know what I mean? So what tropes do we have with this book? Friends to lovers, which I love a friends to lovers. I know a lot of people prefer enemies to lovers, but I personally love friends to lovers because there's just something more intense about the love, okay? There's something just more deep and meaningful about it because they like already know each other, and then like their friendship grows, and I don't know. I swoon hard with friends to lovers. And they also, I don't know what this trope is called, but they get married when they're drunk in Las Vegas. And they wake up the next day and they're like, what the fuck? Yeah, so that's this trope. But also, another little trigger warning, the heroine in this book, Ray, who is such a boss-ass bitch, she deals with domestic violence with her ex-partner. So there's that serious topic that I was talking about before. Austin, the hero in this book, okay, I don't like his name because my nephew is named Austin, and like, how awkward, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm reading these characters and they have like the same names as my family members, I'm like, can we not? But this hero, delicious, darling. Okay, like the smart, A1 baby girl, and he is just to die for. Like, if I could have a moment with this man, it would be all over Red Rover. I would show him the best night of his fucking life. So swoon worthy, but not even like swoon worthy as in like, oh, cute. Like, I'm talking swoon worthy like, you are devilish and delicious. That's what I'm talking about. He is such a good hero. I haven't come across a hero in a long time that I've actually like documented in my mind, and I'm like, are you a new book boyfriend? Like, he really hit all the spots, ticked all the boxes. And I just really loved this book, man. Like, I just did. I really loved it. Okay, so they're all the books that I read or tried to read in the month of August. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite book of the month was. I want to know. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling because I feel like this video is actually quite long, and I need to lay down. Like, that's just what happens when you're 37 weeks pregnant. Like, you just need to lay down after just a conversation. I'll see you in my next video, whenever that will be. Bye.